Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, innovators. It's the first Christmas party I've been to for a while. It's wonderful to be with you, and a real pleasure to join the British Business Council for your 65th annual Christmas lunch. And congratulations to those that have been here for, well, where did you get to? 40 years. 40 years. And sober. Los Angeles is not known for its Christmas dinners or its Christmas puddings, at least not the proper stuff. But I have heard this is the place you'll come if you're looking for the real deal, and I'm sure I won't be disappointed. For me, being British isn't about where you physically stand, but what you stand for. I recently wrote about our armed forces for Remembrance Day and what that past experience brought up for me. Service, duty, camaraderie, being part of something larger than yourself, and, of course, banter. I believe those values. Banter isn't actually a value, apparently, I disagree. I believe those values are the reason that you succeed in your businesses. The service, the contribution, the partnerships, that's what I see in this room amongst Christmas hats and crackers. And that's what I know you to bring to your workplaces too. And next year, I know we're all looking forward to welcoming many more fellow Brits from across the pond, provided they behave, and that they make it through customs, past ice, and everything else. The World Cup is coming to the United States. And both England and Scotland, good one. Miracles happen. You know what? It's a Christmas miracle. Our British Consul General is Scottish, as you know. So he's understandably thrilled and reliably informed, promises to be proudly wearing a kilt for the entirety of the competition, no matter the weather, the proper Scottish way. As for me, well, I was 14 years old.
The room carried that unmistakable December glow, the kind that feels less like light and more like warmth settling directly into the heart. It was the annual Christmas luncheon of the British American Business Council of Los Angeles, the 65th anniversary of a tradition that had endured decades, transitions, migrations, revolutions in business and technology, and yet still held onto something gentle, something timeless. And into that warmth walked Prince Harry, not with the stiff, ceremonial stiffness of a man trying to perform royalty, but with a living, breathing, unmistakably human sincerity that filled the room before his first word even left his lips. He carried gratitude the way others carry notes, ready to offer, ready to elevate, ready to remind everyone that the season was not simply beginning, it was being blessed into motion. The applause settled into a contented hum as he approached the podium. He didn't look rushed. He didn't look rehearsed. He looked like a man who recognized every face as a collaborator in something larger, and every table as part of a shared story stretching across oceans, decades, and cultures. That alone softened the crowd, a mix of CEOs, innovators, long-standing community members, philanthropists, and countless who simply admired the values he embodied, values that had been shaped long before Los Angeles became his home. He waited for the room to fully quiet, yet his smile hinted that he didn't mind the lingering rustle. Festive gatherings are meant to be alive, after all. And when he finally began, the tone wasn't that of a keynote speaker. It was that of a host welcoming his extended family. "Well," he said, voice warm, carrying playful humility and genuine affection in equal measure, "it's a pleasure to be here. Truly." A simple opening, but one that felt wholly real, resonant, and deeply appreciative of the crowd that had welcomed him not as a distant figure, but as one of their own. He didn't just visit the British American community in Los Angeles. He belonged to it, and that truth coloured every word he would say that afternoon. He spoke then of the British-American Business Council's long-standing history, calling it an anchor of connection, a living bridge between two places that had shaped his life in profound ways. He took a moment to congratulate the long-standing members, those who had supported the council long before its current era, long before its glamorous LA celebrations, long before the idea of transatlantic cooperation had gained the nuance and energy it now carried. His praise for them wasn't just courteous, it was affectionate, heartfelt, and textured with understanding. He knew the importance of people who show up year after year, not for recognition, not for applause, but for collective purpose. In the midst of his gratitude, Harry delivered one of the lines that lit up the entire ballroom. Los Angeles, he joked, wasn't exactly the world capital of classic Christmas traditions. But nevertheless, this luncheon had become the real deal. Laughter rippled around the room, but it wasn't sharp or mocking. It was soft, warm, wrapped in shared joy. Because the truth behind the humour was that Los Angeles, even with its palm trees, sunshine, and cinematic glow, had carved out a space where British identity could breathe, evolve, and thrive without losing its essence. And here, at this luncheon, those values found their yearly renaissance. It was then that Harry leaned in, metaphorically, inviting everyone into a reflection deeper than the event's glittering decor or cheerful atmosphere suggested. He spoke of what it truly means to be British, not as a matter of postal codes or birthplace or political lines on a map, but of values, real values, the ones that travel with you, no matter where you stand. Being British, he said with a steady sincerity, is not defined by location. And the silence that followed was not empty, it was reverent. He elaborated, naming values like service, duty, camaraderie, loyalty, kindness, and above all, the sense of being part of something larger than oneself. These weren't abstract principles for him. These were the bones of his upbringing, the pulse of his work, the legacy he continues through every cause he champions. He reminded the crowd, though truly he didn't need to remind them, that these virtues were not relics of the past, but powerful tools for the present and future. Especially in business, he stressed, because the best business leaders understand service and camaraderie just as deeply as any soldier, humanitarian, or community organizer. The most transformative partnerships, he said, come from mutual respect, trust, and the willingness to lift others up. And he looked around the room as if seeing those qualities reflected in every face. He joked lightly that banter also played an important role in British identity and success, and again the room lit up. But beneath the joking tone lay something beautiful, a recognition of warmth, humour, and humility as cultural strengths, not frivolities. Prince Harry has always understood the rare magic of mixing heart and humour, and once again he used it to connect, to unite, to disarm, and to transform a speech into a shared moment of meaning. As he spoke of the values shaping the transatlantic business community, he didn't do so from the lofty distance of someone listing ideals. Instead, he grounded it in the energy of the moment, in the smiles, the applause, the familiar faces, the festive decorations, the unmistakable pride simmering softly between each table. He commended the attendees not only for their professional achievements, but for the ethos behind their success. Generosity, collaboration, a willingness to build bridges rather than walls. He emphasized that those gathered had contributed not just to economies, but to cultures, to communities, and to each other's growth. That was the essence of this luncheon, he said, not merely celebration, but recognition of shared purpose. He then expressed his excitement to welcome even more British individuals next year, with a playful condition. Assuming they behave, he quipped, and assuming they make it through customs. The laughter that followed was loud, genuine, echoing the warmth of the room. In that lightness, Harry revealed something beautiful. That identity is both serious and joyful, sacred and playful. Britishness, for him, is not a rigid costume, It is a living, evolving, smiling thing. Then, almost seamlessly, the speech shifted into a playful nod toward sports, because sports, after all, are one of the great threads that bind British and American spirits alike. Harry brought up the upcoming World Cup set to come to the United States. He didn't frame it as merely an international tournament. He framed it with the hopefulness of a fan, the optimism of a patriot, and the humour of someone who knows how unpredictable English football can be. His voice carried a hint of mischievous charm as he suggested, with that blend of sincerity and laughable honesty, that, if England and Scotland both do well, it would be nothing short of a miracle. The crowd erupted, and yet beneath the laughter there was something sweetly earnest. Prince Harry still roots for his home nations, still carries that sporting pride no distance could erase. But it wasn't just the words themselves that made the speech powerful. It was the way he delivered them, that mix of humility, warmth, confidence, and gratitude unique to Prince Harry. A man who has endured more scrutiny, loss, attacks, reinventions, and redefinitions than most people could shoulder, yet who still stands for hope, service, community, and kindness. His sincerity wasn't performative, it was deeply felt, reflecting someone who understands the weight of the season and the gift of human connection. And as he looked across the room, his expression softened even further. He saw business leaders, creatives, innovators, families, first-time attendees, council founders, young entrepreneurs, and old friends, all gathered around tables glowing with festive cheer, glasses raised, smiles shared, hearts open. It was more than an event. It was a sanctuary of belonging, a celebration of what is possible when communities unite across cultures and borders. Harry's speech was not simply a welcome, it was a blessing, a warm, uplifting invocation of values, identity, humour, and hope, delivered at a moment when people needed reminders of unity more than ever. And the crowd felt it. They leaned into it. They carried his words with them long after the applause washed warmly through the ballroom. He moved beyond the podium afterward with the same grace he had shown at the microphone, shaking hands, exchanging brief jokes, thanking individuals personally, not as a figurehead, but as a man of the people. The affection in the room toward him was unmistakable. Attendees weren't just admiring him, they were proud of him, proud of the work he has done, proud of how he represents British values abroad, proud of the kindness and strength he effortlessly carries wherever he goes. He was not in London. He was not in Windsor or Sandringham or Buckingham Palace. He was in Los Angeles, in sunshine, among palm trees, in a city known for creativity, multicultural energy, opportunity, and reinvention. And yet here he stood, radiating the essence of British heritage while embracing the openness of American hospitality. He wasn't torn between worlds. He was building a bridge between them. That bridge, made of humour, made of gratitude, made of values, is exactly what makes Prince Harry so admired across continents. His voice lives in both places. His heart lives in both places. And as he spoke, that heart reached every corner of the ballroom. His presence didn't overshadow the moment. It elevated it. His vision for the future of the British-American relationship was clear without being forced. It will grow on trust, shared values, and community spirit. It will expand because of people like those in the room, people defined not by borders, but by goals and generosity. He praised them for the work they do, the opportunities they create, and the integrity they carry. It wasn't flattery, it was truth, spoken from someone who has seen the best and worst of institutions and chooses every day to stand for the better world. As the speech drew to a close, he did not crescendo into grandiosity. Instead, he concluded with the same heartfelt sincerity that guided the entire address. He thanked everyone again, not out of obligation, but with visible warmth, the kind that comes from genuine gratitude. And when he said it was an honour to begin the festive season with them, the room felt it. It wasn't Christmas yet on the calendar, but it was Christmas in the air. Moments like these define why Prince Harry remains one of the most beloved figures in both nations. He brings heart where others bring protocol. He brings authenticity where others bring performance. He brings humanity where others cling to image. And above all, he brings compassion. Compassion that transforms gatherings into community, events into memories, and speeches into blessings. At that luncheon, everyone witnessed more than words. They witnessed the embodiment of service, humour, and unity. They witnessed a man who knows who he is, who knows what he stands for, and who knows exactly how to uplift those around him. And as the event flowed into its cheerful, festive continuation, glasses clinking, laughter echoing, conversations shimmering with optimism for the future, one truth remained undeniable. Prince Harry had begun the season not just with a speech, but with a celebration of values, identity, and love that would carry long past the day's end. It was festive, it was heartfelt, it was unforgettable. And above all, it was Prince Harry, warm, gracious, joyful, and deeply, beautifully human.
The submission itself sounds nice. And to my amazing and peculiar Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos and tuning in to Daily Diaries Fridays update. Keep it light, keep it there, and see you next time in our next episode. Bye bye. May you have a good day and a good time. Keep shining. Bye bye.